the day of install. What you need to install this, if you're doing it at home, you will need a jack, whatever the fuck you call this tool. You'll need your lug, I'm guessing key or whatever, lug nuts, spacer, wire brush. If you've never done this before, you want to break the lug nuts free before lifting the car in the air. Have to clean the whole surface of any rust. It has to be really smooth. And see this piece has to come out, because when you put the hub on, it wiggles. I don't know how good you'll be able to see, but there's space in between. See how it wiggles? It's not supposed to do that. There we go. Now it's off. A little bit of wire brushing. Clean that surface. Don't scratch your calipers. I have to repaint mine, so I'm not really too concerned about that right now. So now the hub should be flush, and it is. No more wiggling, no more moving, nothing. It's absolutely flush with the wheel hub. Since I had the spacers painted, the edges, which are going to be visible, you do not want to paint the insides of the spacer. You don't want paint on them, you don't want anything on them. Since I painted these, I didn't paint them myself, a friend of mine did. There was a bit of paint on these edges, on the edges, sticking onto the surface, so I just removed it with some sandpaper, making sure there's nothing on the edges, and now it will stick 100% to the hub. See, no wiggling, no nothing. I can't move it. That's how you want it to be. As far as putting the spacer on, you do not want the original studs to stick out. Or when you put the wheel on, instead of the wheel being on this surface, it will be just on the studs, and you will lose a wheel eventually. So once installed, you want this to be flush. The studs have to be inside. If they're not, in your case, well, then you have to get shorter wheel studs, or you could cut them off. Now, I would suggest you get shorter ones, because if you decide to not run spacers anymore and you want to go back to your prior setup with just the wheels, you most probably won't be able to get those wheels on anymore. No. I'll have to tighten this down now. Well, I figured it out. Solution. whilst you're at it, you might as well clean the inside of your wheel. There you go, all smooth and shiny and ready to go onto the car back. There you have it. Looks super retarded right now. Just gonna tighten down those lug nuts, and I'm gonna do the other side, and then we'll start the install of the fender flares. Here's the final product. Everything's installed. Turn this around. Actual 3M tape. The metal plates have been soaked into hot plastic, so they're corrosion resistant now. And this is how you want it to look. This is how flush it needs to be. Totally flush. What you'll need for the install, you will need a wet sponge to clean the fenders, a dry rag or towel to wipe off the water. You will need some sort of degreaser to really clean it thoroughly, and then you will apply the 3M primer. Now, since I don't know where exactly the plates are going to be, I'm just going to put the primer across the entire edge of the fender, and then I'm going to wipe off the excess once I'm done putting the plates in place. That way I'm sure all the plates will have primer on them. And yeah, I'm not gonna bother you with cleaning and prepping. As you can see, I've put some masking tape around the edge of the flare of the fenders. That is because once you're really close to the car, you can't see the edge anymore if you're really close, and you really only have one shot at this with the 3M tape. So what I suggest you do is put on the masking tape, take the flare, and literally practice how you're going to put it on. It would be best to have another person helping you, holding the side that you're not attaching right now, so it doesn't get attached to the car. There it is, it's done. This is, for now, the final product. I need to get some sort of gasket to put it in between the flares and the fenders, but more or less it's done. Considering this is not OEM, it's an improvisation, I'd say the fitment is pretty good.
I'm going